Hello everyone. We'll now see how we can schedule our online lectures using Zoom. For this purpose, we need to first create an account with Zoom. So we open the site zoom.us. Once that site opens, we click on sign up, it's free, this particular button. Here it will ask us to enter our date of birth. So suppose I enter a date of birth, maybe 2000 or something, and click on continue. It asks you to enter your work email address. Now you can type in your email address here, like suppose in my case I'm going to at bhavans.ac.in. Now we put in this email address and click on sign up. Now I already have got a Zoom ID, so therefore I'm not going to click on sign up. But once you do this, what Zoom does is sends you an email to confirm your email address. So this is the mail that I had received when I was trying to create my Zoom account, where you have to activate the Zoom account by clicking on this particular button. So once you activate on this account on this particular button, you will be redirected to the Zoom site where you will have to enter certain other details, your name and organization name and so on, and finally you can sign up. And once you sign up, you will come to that particular final screen. I'll just show you what that screen is. First I will log into my account because I had not logged in, and sign in. This is a screen that you will come to once you have activated the account and filled in the details. Now this is your profile that has got created at Zoom. Some things that you need to do before scheduling any meeting is go to the settings section on the left side, and a whole lot of options will come up on the right side. We need to go and see these options and keep them according to our settings before we start off any meeting. Now for this, if you require a password, then you can keep it on. Coming further down, the important thing here is to have a waiting room. There is an option for waiting room. I have kept it on. Here it means that nobody will be able to directly enter your meeting just with the link or even with the password. So once the person comes and tries to log in, he will be waiting at the waiting room. The admin or teachers at that moment need to be a little alert and see if someone is waiting in the waiting room and allow that person accordingly. Depending upon what is the time that we have scheduled, that maybe the students come in the first 5 or 10 minutes, they will be allowed to enter. So we can do that. But a waiting room is highly suggested so that any random person with the link will not be able to enter our meeting room. Then coming down, further down, if you want to schedule a meeting with the host video on, so you keep that on, and participants video preferably if we can keep it off, because this will be lesser load on that particular meeting that is happening, and there will be little more clarity on the sound and video that the teacher is trying to share. Further down it says join before host. I would suggest to keep it off, because if the students are allowed to join before the host, then Zoom starts counting the minutes or the 40 minutes of duration that is there for Zoom meeting. It will start counting from the time the first student or the first participant enters. So if we keep it off, the minutes of the meeting will start getting counted only from the time the host enters. So preferably keep this off. Further down, mute participants upon entry. Do keep it on so that we do not have a lot of noise when we are trying to speak and take a lecture that moment. If you want, you can keep upcoming meeting reminders on. Further down, where it says chat, allow meeting participants to send messages to each other. That means to everyone the messages that are coming, you may keep it on. But for private chats, you can see further down it says private chats. It's strongly suggested that we keep it off so that the students are not able to chat amongst each other without the teacher coming to know that they are chatting. So you may keep this off. Auto saving of chats, depending upon our requirement, we may keep it on or off. File transfer, if you want to transfer any files, you may keep it on, but we do know that we are going to be using Google Classroom for exchange of our files, and also any file that is transferred during the meeting is available only during the meeting. So if there is a student who has not attended the meeting, then he or she may not be able to get the file. So that is one issue. So preferably try and share the files from the Google Classroom. Coming further down, screen sharing. If we want to allow screen sharing, we can keep it on. If not, then keep it off. But if screen sharing is on, who can share also can be decided here in Zoom. So if you want only the host or the teacher to share the screen, you can click on host only. If you want that if you think that the student will also be sharing some presentation they will be giving, then for those meetings you can keep all participants. Further down, who can start sharing when someone else is sharing? That means who can override someone's sharing. If you have selected host only, then automatically here also it will be host only and you won't be able to change it. Disable desktop screen share for users. So the users will not be able to share their screens. Annotation. Now this is an important feature in Zoom, that is to be able to write on the Zoom meeting screen, scribble basically. So the only thing is that if you keep it on, anybody and everybody whoever is in the meeting will be able to scribble on the screen. If you think as a teacher you will not require annotation, preferably keep this off. The next option is for whiteboard. If you require a whiteboard in Zoom, yes, you can have a whiteboard in Zoom and by keeping this on. And if you want to save the contents of the whiteboard, you can keep this option on. Coming further down, during the screen sharing, the person who is sharing can allow others to control the shared content. That means someone else can also control, then you can keep it on. That means if I am the admin and I am sharing the screen and I would like someone else to control the movement of the PowerPoint presentation maybe, then I can keep this on. Further down, I can come to, I don't think there is any need to change anything from what is by default given here. We'll let all of this remain as it is. All of this is, I suggest that we leave it as is given in default. And this is how our settings are, we set our settings or keep our settings before we start scheduling any meeting. So this is in our Zoom ID now. Now coming on to scheduling a meeting, on the top right hand corner, there's a button called schedule a meeting. So we click on that. Now to schedule a meeting, as we clicked on schedule a meeting, we came to this particular screen wherein you can give a topic. Now suppose I'm going to give a topic, say COD. Description here is optional, so I will leave it. When is it that you want this meeting to be scheduled? So you can click on this calendar button here and I'm going to choose 15th July. And time, suppose if I want to take it at 11 AM, I'll choose accordingly. By default it says duration is 1 hour, but we know that the basic free plan has got a 40-minute duration. So even if you leave it at 1, your meeting will get over in 40 minutes. The important thing here to know is that to choose the time zone properly. So if it's not showing GMT plus 5.5 hours, that is India, so do click on this down arrow and select the appropriate option, GMT plus 5.5, and you will get India, and that is our time zone. That is what we need to keep selected. Now if we want this to be a recurring meeting, then we can click on recurring meeting and choose how the recurrence should be. That means do we want it daily or weekly? So I'm going to keep it weekly because lectures we can schedule weekly like this, every 1 week. And let's say it needs to be scheduled on every Monday and Wednesday. And here it is asking for the last date. So again, click on the calendar button and go month wise ahead. Suppose if I want to stop it on the 14th of October. So which means that starting from 15 July, twice a week, I'm going to conduct lectures at 11 AM. I schedule the time here at 11 AM. Getting over on the 14th of October, and this is 27 occurrences as you can read here. So 27 lectures will be held. So if you want, you can count the number of lectures also if you schedule it like that. Or suppose if I want to hold the lecture also on Thursday, so then if I click on Thursday, I'll get 40 occurrences here. So that way we can count also how many lectures are being held. We select this according to our requirement. Come further down, preferably keep the host video on and the participant video off. And coming down, enable join before host. As I explained earlier when we were doing settings, try to keep this off so that time limit of our meeting does not get counted from the time the first participant enters. Muting participants on entry, do keep it on because we don't want them to make noise, the students. Enable a waiting room, do keep it on again so that we can authorize whoever is entering our class. And recording the meeting automatically on the local computer, as Principal Ma'am said, we'll keep it on, we'll record it. But as soon as it's recorded, you may, for space constraints, if you want, you can upload it to your Google Drive. And if you have space constraints there too, then I suggest that we can upload it to our own YouTube channels, where if you want, you can keep these videos as private videos. Private videos can only be viewed by the owner and nobody else will be viewing it. So in that way, you can use YouTube as a repository also. So once all these settings are done, we click on save and our meeting has been created. This meeting, it says here, add to the calendar, Outlook calendar and whatever. So we'll click on Google Calendar, so we can save that meeting onto a Google Calendar. If you're not logged in, it will ask you to log in. So it says this will allow Zoom to view and edit, allow all of your calendars, say allow, because we want it to come up there in the calendar. And as you can see, the Google Calendar is going to get opened up and an event is completely generated here with the Zoom ID of lectures from 15 July starting at 11 AM to 12 PM, getting over on 14th October. That means it is going to occur in all those days of Monday, Wednesdays and Thursdays. So all of that is there. If you want, you can go ahead and save here this meeting, schedule. Now here it says join Zoom meeting. This is also the link of the Zoom meeting. If you want, you can copy this link and give it to the students also. So I'll just save this and show it to you. And here it is, Mondays, Wednesdays and Thursdays, the Zoom meeting has been scheduled for 11 in the morning. So what you can see, another row here of Monday, Wednesday and Friday is another meeting I had scheduled. Now coming back to our Zoom tab. Now this meeting that we have scheduled, there is an invite link here, as you can see. This, we can copy this invitation. This is the invitation, and actually it comes here as that the meeting is going to be conducted on all these days at the so and so time, and we can copy this invitation, or if you want just the link, you can copy along with the meeting ID and password. Copy this invitation, and if you want, you can, I can paste it into Notepad and show you. Since it's a recurring meeting, it is showing all those dates of the days that the meeting is going to be conducted. It is showing that. You can just paste it here. So if you see, this is the entire meeting, and it is to be held on all these days, and the actual link is this. You can copy and paste this much part into the students' WhatsApp group or into the Google Classroom and send this invitation across, and the students will be able to join the meeting using this particular link. So that is how you can start this schedule a meeting with Zoom.